All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is John Tomiski. I am the regional sales manager for Mirimichi Green. Today, I want to help everyone better understand the benefits of healthy soils and how modifying your management practices can help increase profitability and promote sustainability. We have a wide range of products, but today we're going to specifically focus on CarbonPro-G and also a little bit of carbonized PN as well. So we'll get right into it. So this slide kind of just shows, where we fit, different areas in the landscape industry. Um, Obviously, residential landscapes, trees and nurseries. Been involved with a lot of sports fields, the golf industry as well. A lot of private high-end golf courses, uh, equine industry, universities and corporate campuses, and also parks and recreation. All right. So this is so what is bioactive carbon? So basically, carbon or biochar, if you will, is the main ingredient that's in all of our products for the most part. Um, and what it is, it's environmentally sustainable carbon-based material obtained for the burning of biomass, and it's inoculated with premium organics. So what we do is we heat up southern pine wood, absence of air. It goes through a process called pyrolysis, and what's left behind is pure carbon, little to no ash. And if you look at wood under a microscope, which shows in this picture right here, um, it's extremely porous in structure. So after it goes through that process, um, all it's still filled with filled with chalk, filled with passageways. So it's extremely highly porous in structure. So it's able to retain a lot of water, nutrients. Um, it also it creates a very aerobic soil structure as well. It helps with reducing leaching, and it's got a half life of 500 years, so it's very permanent carbon source that stays in the soil. So through obviously this is pretty basic, but three things turf and plants need to grow well besides sunlight. The first thing they need obviously is nutrients. They need water and they need microorganisms. So when we amend the soil with biochar, tends to happen is it sucks the nutrients out of the soil and stores it in the biochar for when the turf and plant needs it. So what that does, it prevents leaching. So it's storing those nutrients. It reduces nutrient runoff when it rains. And when the rains come, the second aspect is it's holding that water. It's a significant reserve of water. Those pores fill up with water. Have a It holds on to a lot of moisture at higher periods of time. And I have a slide to show that versus our product versus other products and how it retains that moisture and water. And the third aspect is microorganisms. We like to say biochar is like a luxury condominium for microbes to live in. Um, you know, if you pick up a handful of soil, there's millions and billions of microbes. But when you amend the soil with biochar, that turns into billions and trillions of microbes. And so not only does it increase the population of microbes, it increases the variety of microbes as well. So there's a synergy between healthy soils and healthy plant nutrition. A lot of these soils are becoming constantly dependent by pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, chemicals. So nutrient cycling becomes impaired. Increased soil health provides defense for the plant and helps fight off pathogens because the soil is, we like to say the soil is the stomach of the plant. If the microbes and the fungi have a healthy environment, they'll play a central role in breaking down organic matter into available nutrients. So yeah, living organisms that are crucial to healthy soil. And like I said, biochar attracts those microbes, um, encourage their development, and they affect soil structure and fertility. So this is the moisture retention study I was referring to. Um, Basically, what this is showing is our product up here in the top left, Mirimichi Green, and you got compost, naked biochar, and hydro mulch 70/30. So what this is showing is our product is holding water, more water, for longer periods of time. Right here, it shows solid 8 to 9 days where it's holding a significant amount of water. Um, Compost falls off after a few days. Naked biochar kind of held up all right, and then hydromelt 70/30 really dipped off after day one or day two. This is a slide I like to show. Again, how biochar, how it works. It's basically it's very porous in structure, so it kind of has, I like to say, it has like that sponge effect. So a brick, high bulk density, low pore space. You get a sponge, which is low bulk density, high pore space. Again, stores those nutrients, makes the soil very aerobic, um, and it's also a home for all those microbes to live in. And here's carbonized PN. Carbonized PN was the first product we launched. Um, this product is obviously it's a granular soil amendment. It's got 50% biochar and 50% compost. This is kind of what it looks like. It's more of a dirt or a soil, if you will. So it's more so made to be spread out of a belt-driven top dresser. Of course, you can chicken feed it as well, but this is definitely more made for plantings and also it turf use as well if you do have the right equipment like a belt-driven top dresser. So again, kind of a little redundant, but basically what it's doing, you're reducing your water needs because it's retaining a lot of water and moisture. It helps aerate the soil and reduces compaction. Creates that very aerobic soil. It creates a very aerobic soil profile for the turf and the microbes to live in. You're reducing your fertilizer and chemical inputs. We have a lot of data out there that shows, it's increasing your fertilizer efficiency by 10 to 30%. Optimizing the pH, which is key, and I do have some studies to show here later on in the presentation. Also increasing your nutrient uptake, your cation exchange. We do have a study for that as well, which I will show you. And again, it provides a permanent home for the microbes to live in. So here's some of the rates. Kind of buzz through these. For longer, we usually suggest 20 to 40 pounds per thousand. Every situation is different, but that's kind of the standard rate we suggest. Sod, usually we suggest a half a bag to a bag underneath each pallet of sod, which is roughly 450 to 500 square feet. Again, I have a picture and a study to show how it works under sod. And then also you can use it for plants, flowers, shrubs, trees, 5 to 10 pounds per caliper inch, and also hydroseeding as well. And then we're going to get into the CarbonPro-G. But this is basically showing the difference between carbonized PN and CarbonPro-G. So carbonized PN, again, it's more of like a dirt or soil, more made for plantings and to spread out of a belt-driven top dresser. And then we got CarbonPro-G. We launched this product a few years ago. We got a lot of good feedback about the carbonized PN, but it just wasn't as user-friendly. So we put it into a prill. So this is able to be spread out of a rotary spreader. And it also has, the other difference is it has a beneficial microbial package in there. So both products have biochar and compost in there. The two main differences, CarbonPro-G is in a prill, so it's able to be spread out of rotary spreader, and it has a beneficial microbial package in there. So yeah, Lesco CarbonPro-G. This is a 40-pound bag. Again, as you can see, it's more in a prill. A lot of the same features and benefits that the carbonized PN has. You're increasing your nutrients in the soil for improved root and shoot growth. You know, you're getting more of our products more so are you're getting more downward growth than top growth. You're driving those roots. You're improving the soil biology, and you know, you're also improving, like I said, the pH and the cation exchange. So our bag products, this is the CarbonPro-G, but our bag products have a pH anywhere from a 6.2 to a 6.8 versus other products out there that, you know, may have a 7 to an 8.5. Solvita rating. Solvita rating measures basically CO2 respiration, so how active the microbes are in the soil. Higher that number, the better. Our product, you know, helps raise that Solvita rating, and it also has a natural 2-2-1 analysis. Reason being is it has compost in there, so the compost pile in your backyard has to have some sort of analysis. Our product has a natural 2-2-1 analysis in there. We don't have to claim that on the bag because it's all natural. But yeah, that's something that you know, it does. So you do have some sort of NPK in there, natural NPK. The rates are a little bit different with CarbonPro-G. We usually suggest for the initial rate, 10 pounds per thousand. It's a 40-pound bag, so the 10-pound rate, you'll get 4,000 square feet. And then maintenance rate, we suggest 5 pounds per thousand, which you'll get 8,000 square feet out of that bag. I usually like to see at least 20 pounds per year, per thousand applied per year, just to get those benefits and increase that organic matter that's in the soil, help out with the pH and the cation exchange. And again, you can use this in nurseries and trees as well. So a little bit of a different guaranteed analysis than the carbon PN. 47.4% compost, 47.4% biochar. There's a little humic acid in there, and you got that beneficial microbial package as well. A bunch of different forms of bacillus and bacteria, and also mycorrhizal fungi. And we do both bags, the carbonized PN and the CarbonPro-G. We do have those in the 1 yard super sacks. So there's 2 1,000-pound sacks on a pallet, which is equivalent to a ton. And these are just some, you know, ways you can use these products out in the field. You know, if you're running into these situations, obviously pH situations, like I mentioned before, localized dry areas on your properties. Do your fertilizer applications run out before you return? Again, applying these products, the carbonized PN and the CarbonPro-G, you're increasing your fertilizer efficiency by 10 to 30%. Great with establishing turf in high traffic areas. You know, great for overseeding in the spring, so in the fall as well. And again, increasing your CEC. So this was a study we did several years back. This is at NC State University. They did an initial pH and CEC test. This at a bioretention pond, and the initial test in October was at a 5.2, obviously not ideal. And then the cation exchange was at a 5, definitely not ideal either. So after a heavy application of carbonized PN, they did a soil test 10 months later or 9 months later, and the pH jumped a full point and the cation exchange doubled. So the pH went from a 5.2 to a 6.2, and the cation exchange jumped from a 5 to a 10.3. So what this is showing us is that the carbon is doing its job. It's staying in that soil, and it's helping out with the pH and the cation exchange, making those nutrients more available to the turf and to the plant. And this was the same test we did. That was trial 3 that I showed you, but we did 5 trials. So I'll go down to trial 1 here at the bottom. We did trials at different areas, and the initial test for trial 1 was at a 6.1, and it still jumped up a couple points, went up to a 6.3. Trial 2 went from a 5.4 to a 6.2. Trial 4 went from a 5.6 to a 6.4, and then trial 5 went from a 5.7 to a 6.4. So significant jump in pH just by a heavy application of carbonized PN. And then same study was done. It was the cation exchange as well. So again, significant increase in cation exchange with all 5 of these trials. Trial 1 went from a 6.1 to an 8.8. Trial 2 went from a 4.8 to an 11.1. That's a significant jump. 5.1 to a 9.9, and then 6.6, 12.6. So almost doubled in all 5 trials, which is pretty impressive. And again, it's just showing you that carbon compost is doing its job. It's staying in the soil and making the nutrients more available to the turf and plant. So this kind of just shows, different ways you can use our products, our granular products, carbonized PN or CarbonPro-G. They're very interchangeable. Again, it just depends on the type of equipment you have. Great for establishing turf, new seed, dressing, sod installations. I'll get into that. Great for hydroseeding, and also plantings, pot plants, trees and shrubs, nurseries and gardens as well. And then we'll get to some pictures, different ways our products were used out in the field. This was up in Massachusetts. This customer was trying to establish a new lawn. He used tartar fertilizer and treated his property also with Lesco CarbonPro-G at the 10-pound rate. Obviously, the pictures, the first picture is here in the top left, and the end result here is in the bottom right. So again, a great product to use for seed establishment. This was a study done at Michigan State University, 13 days after. So the picture on the right, they did not apply any type of soil amendment under the sod. Picture on the left, they applied carbonized PN, again, a half a bag to a bag per pallet of sod, so roughly 450 to 500 square feet. And as you can see, the sod is, those roots are knitting well into the soil. It helps with that, that knit process, and it's driving roots. So a significant difference when you do apply carbonized PN under sod. And again, this was 13 days after application. Similar situation here. This was in Connecticut. Sod was cut down to bare soil, then tilled in 2 bags of carbonized PN and spread a couple bags of CarbonPro-G. And they also used a 3-4-3 Healthy Start. So the project started in October of 2021, and the end result was in May of 2022. So this bottom right picture, you can see where it did do the sod installation. The back half of the property, is holding that color, and versus the property that the front half of the property that they didn't sod. And so definitely, a great product to use with sod installations for sure. This was a recent picture we got. This was last summer, I believe. So University of Maryland, Baltimore County. So as you can see, the dark green turf here in the front, this is the top picture I'm referring to, is where CarbonPro-G was applied. If you look beyond, you'll see that the turf was not treated, and it's all yellow, actually including the trees too. If you look further beyond, the trees are actually yellow too. So this is the effect that our biochar and compost has. There was some nutrients at this property that in the soils that weren't being used. So what our products are doing is making these nutrients more available to the plant and to the turf, and helping green up this turf and making a healthy living environment for the turf and the plant. And the bottom picture is steep slope here. Obviously, a lot of contractors and landscapes will run into these issues out in the field as far as treating slopes. They were going through a significant drought in Maryland last summer, and what they did is they actually applied this liquid product 901C and BioSpectrum, and this was the turnaround. A few weeks later, greened this property up significantly, and they really didn't have to apply any sort of synthetic fertilizers for the next couple months. It held that color, and clearly it's very, very vigor. This was a germination test. So right picture is with CarbonPro-G, seed starter, and paper-based mulch. Left picture used the same materials except CarbonPro-G. So I don't have to tell you, you can see a significant difference just by adding CarbonPro-G into this blend. So it's CarbonPro-G, seed starter, and paper-based mulch, and just a significant increase in seed germination. Residential property, CarbonPro-G applied in the spring. No other fertilizer was used. They went at the higher rate, the 20 pounds per thousand. This was 3 weeks after application, the picture on the right. So, again, it's clearly there were some nutrients that were in the soil that weren't necessarily being used, and what our products are doing is making them more available, helping out with water retention and creating like an aerobic environment in the soil. So what biochar actually will do too is it's dark in color. It's obviously got that black color to it. So it helps heat up the soil actually by a couple degrees. So that kind of gets things going in the soil, activates the microbes, and brings that turf out of dormancy. This is one of the first pictures I received when I started with Mirimichi. I think this was a gentleman from our plant that kind of wanted to use the product for himself, try it out on his own lawn. He applied CarbonPro-G to half of his front yard in December, and this was the result later in March. So similar to the picture I just showed you, it kind of has, it brings that turf out of dormancy. So it's a great product to use as one of your first applications of the year to kind of amend your soil, get the microbial activity going, and kind of set the tone for the rest of your applications to follow, because it's going to make those fertilizer applications work that much better. You're increasing your nutrient investment. This residential lawn out in Long Island, they applied CarbonPro-G at the 10-pound rate, watered it in, and this was 12 days in between pictures, believe it or not. This was a situation where they were dealing with a lot of, a drought out in Long Island, and the customer had some severe wilt issues. So we applied CarbonPro-G, 10-pound rate, watered it in, and really bounced back this turf. Another customer that realized that he already had applied enough synthetic fertilizer throughout the year. He had enough nutrients in that soil, so what he wanted to do was just continue to amend his soil with biochar and compost, and that's really all he had to do if he did have enough nutrients to feed the turf. So what he did was he continued to apply couple laps of CarbonPro-G from May to August, and clearly he was happy with his results. And then real quick, I'll just dive into this for a little bit, but this is our BioSpectrum product. The reason I showed this is it's in our CarbonPro-G, so it's a beneficial microbial package that's in our CarbonPro-G. Just a bunch of different forms of bacillus. Technically, this product is, we sell this product as well. It's in a 17-ounce pouch. It's a powder, water soluble form. And basically what you're doing is you're inoculating the soil with a bunch of different forms of bacteria and fungi. It helps break down compaction, improves your synthetic performance, helps fight pathogens, and improving your nutrient uptake. But this product at the 3.4 ounce rate will go 5 acres. It's a very cost-effective product. It's a standalone product, and it's also a tank partner as well. You can really mix this with anything. And just another way you can use our products out in the field. This was at the World Equestrian Center in Ocala, Florida. Obviously you can see just a significant difference by using our products. This tree on the right they used carbonized PN around the base of the tree. And they also did a drench with our kelp and tree and shrub. And really, this picture says 1,000 words what our product can do, making those nutrients available to this tree, and really, really made it look good for the beginning of the season. This is in Laredo, Texas, right near actually the border. Very hot and humid down there. Again, similar process was used. The tree was treated with our products, carbonized PN around the base of the tree, kind of excavating the soil, exposing those roots, applying some carbonized, reforming the tree well, and then doing a drench with our liquids. So we suggest, in this case, they used our tree and shrub and 901C. We suggest 5 to 10 ounces in a 5-gallon bucket. Put a drench in there right after you apply carbonized PN. And this was 2 weeks after treatment, so it was late July into August. Really bounced this tree back. There's a flower bed, again, treated with, they planted these flowers with our carbonized PN, and also did a foliar spray with our 202 and tree and shrub product. And then lastly, I'm going to end on this slide. So biochar behaves just like a coral reef in the ocean, is the basis for so much marine life and vibrance. It acts as a natural attractant and sanctuary by creating infrastructure for trillions of microbes to thrive. So that's it for today. If anybody has any questions, feel free to contact me. My cell phone's 508-245-8593. I'm sure most of you that will, jump on this presentation when we do put it out there on our website and social media. Most of you have my cell phone and my email, obviously. So feel free to call me, and be more than happy to help you out with any questions you may have.